Welcome back to my channel. How are you doing? Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this shoulder panel right here. You can use it however you feel like. I, on the other hand, used it on a white dress. I just put it on my body right here so you see what it can look like. I put it on this white dress and this is how it looked. I used a needle and a thread to attach it at the end of the day, but this is what the dress looked like at the end of the day. Now let's jump into tutorial. We're going to measure the areas it's going to be, and the first things first is to measure that part of the shoulder, which is 3.5 inches. I'm making a pair, which is 2, so I'm measuring the other side just in case, by whatever means, one side is slightly bigger or smaller than the other. So that's also 3.5 we have right there. And next we're going to measure is how long do we want this to be. This is the curve it's going to go through. I'll just go ahead and hold it down right there, and then I'll just measure to know exactly where it is. So what I have there is 3 inches. You can make it longer or shorter, but I'm going to do 3 inches. So what I have here is 3.5 inches on this other side, and then 3 inches on the bottom side. For this tutorial, we need foam, we need a white fabric, we need either studs or appliques, but I use both of them. In this case, I had some appliques that already was made with studs. So this is what it looks like. That's what I'm going to be using. And then I'll go ahead and use sand beads. I'm also going to use broken beads. I'm going to use invisible thread and a beading needle. First thing I'm going to do is to be measuring. Remember that we measured that width 3 inches, so it's going to be times 2, which is 6 inches, because it's going to also cut across to the back. So I'm going to measure 6 inches, but just for trimming and cutting and all those things, we're going to make it 6.5. So that's what I'm measuring right there, 6.5 inches. Next I'm going to do is the length. Remember that we measured 3.5 inches, so we're going to be doing that with 3.5 inches right there. Remember, it's actually 2 we're doing, so I'll just draw the straight line this way just so that we can cut it easily. And we're going to be measuring another 3.5 inches upward because it's 2. Haven't done that. Next thing we're going to be doing is to cut. Make sure you mark the areas you're going to be cutting first before you go ahead to cut it. So we're cutting right there, and what we're going to be having is going to be 2 squares, as you can see, folded it into 2 right there and cut it. So what we have is 2. So one side is 3 inches by 3.5 inches. That's what we have. After cutting it right here, we're going to go ahead to outline it. We're going to fold into 2 like this, and then we're going to be arcing it. So I'll hold it right there and just arc with the scissors just like that to the tip that way. Exactly. So this is what we have. So that's how we achieve that shoulder pad effect. So it's 2 shoulders like I mentioned, and that's why we're having to go ahead and trim it properly to make sure both of them are equal. Trim off the rough edges, make sure it is smooth, and then we'll go ahead. This right here is what both of them look like. So we're going to be placing them on the white fabric like this. So we'll just cut it into 2 and then trim around it just to give us a perspective. Please don't trim it equally, leave some portion, because that's what we're going to be using to be folding and sewing or whatever it is we're going to do. So this is what we have right there. Do the same thing for the second one, and then we'll jump ahead and do it. So now this is what we have. Place it this way, and then first thing we're going to do is to get a fabric gum to just gum the edges first. So we'll just go over it with the gum this way. Make sure we just notch it all the way around so you can sit properly, and then we fold it in this way. Sew it round with a needle and thread, or you can use the sewing machine, whichever one works for you. But what I did here was to use my needle to pin it down, and then I went ahead to use the sewing machine to sew it. Take your time to fold every piece in while you do it, and that's what I was doing right there. I took to the sewing machine, and after I was done, this is what it looked like. So I'll go ahead and pick my stud right now, and I'm going to be sewing it all the way around the edges. And we just tie it right there, and then I'm going to be picking 2 studs, and once I pick both studs, I'll put it in right there, and then I'll just drop the needle right in front of the second stud like this. Once I drop the needle in, I'll also bring it out a little bit behind. Most likely I'll target where the second bead was supposed to be. So I'll just put in the needle through the second stud like that, bring it out, pick 2 more studs right there, and put it in, put the needle down again through the front of the stud, bring it out in middle again, and then put the needle through the last stud in front, put another two studs. Repeat process until we go all the way around like this. This is what it looks like when we finished. It's already taking shape, right? Next what we're going to do is to fix that applique. So I'm going to put it right in middle. Feel free to do it however you want, but this is how I want to do it. After doing that, I'm going to be using a gum to secure it. You don't need too much gum because we're actually going to be sewing it. I'm just putting the gum there to just make it stable. After doing that, I'm going to be picking my stud again, and I'm going to just use it to fill out the spaces till the end, that way to meet the stud. So I'll pick the second one, I'll pick a third one, and then I'm going to be picking broken glass bead right now to bead the edges. This is not compulsory, but I'm doing it because the applique I used already had it at the edges. So I just need to do the continuity. So I'm going to be doing that all the way around the edges, and this is what it looks like by the time we finished it and fixing all the studs to just finish it up. So this is the outline that I use. So I just did it that way to that point, this one to that point. That's what I'm going to be doing all through. I just did one side so I see what it looks like. Next thing to do is to start filling the empty spaces. And I'm going to be using sand beads to fill these empty spaces. This is how it's going to be by the time I filled it. So let me show you how I actually filled this. So I took sand beads right there. And you remember the method I used in fixing the studs around the edges? It's about the same method this time around. So I just put it right there to lie down right there like that. Put in my needle in, bring it out at the back like this. And then I'll just bring out the needle and put the needle through the last bead, or maybe the last two beads, depending on how long it is. Bring it out and attach more beads. We're going to be attaching it in that straight line with the same pattern. So we'll just lie down beside it like that to just cover up the spaces. Next thing we're going to do is to bring it out as usual, put in the needle through the last bead, and just continue the process till we have filled out all the space. So the idea of this particular filling is just to follow the line. So we're going to get another set of beads as well, and we're going to lie it this way. After that, get another set with the same method and also fix it this way beside it as well. Get another bead, light this way, just light this way. We're going to continue doing it that way till we cover it up completely, as you can see. So that's right there, and then we'll just do the last one as well. Before you know it, we are done with the covering. And right there is how we did the covering for the whole shoulder panel. And by the time we're done, this is what it actually turns out to be. Just had this straight line all along from the beginning to the end, and then you had the studs everywhere. So this right here is what the finished work looks like. But you know we're not done. We need to add fringes as well to the edges. So next thing to do is to attach the needle and thread. Remember that we're using invisible thread for this. We're going to be using broken glass bead for this particular fringe. If you notice, it's really shiny, so that's what we're going to be using. So we're going to attach it like so. We're going to be using 8 inches, so let's measure to know whether we have up to 8 inches. Voila, we do. We even have a little extra, so we'll remove that extra right there. We're going to pick teardrops bead, and we're going to add sand bead to it as well. I have several fringe tutorials, but this is it. So we're going to be skipping the sand bead and putting the needle in through the teardrop and about, I don't know, a good number of beads, and then we're just going to go ahead to tie. After tying, we'll just cut off the excess thread, and that is that for the fringes on this shoulder panel. So we're going to show you what it looks like by the time we bead everything else, and this right here is what it looks like. Now, by the time we moved it to the outfit, it actually gave the outfit a lift. So yeah, this is what it looks like. I've done the second one as well, as you can see it right there. So this right here is what it is. As you can see, it's really shiny and it looks good, and it complements the outfit. So just put it on top of the shoulder like this, and put it on top of the shoulder the other way. I'm assuming that you know how to fix it with needle and thread on the shoulder. That's why I didn't even bother showing the tutorial on how to use needle and thread to attach it. But yes, attach it, And please endeavor to use invisible thread as well so that it doesn't look tacky at the back. I put it on my shoulder to just show you that it can be used for any outfit, and actually this thing complements the dress I'm wearing absolutely. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.